Hi everyone and welcome. In this video, I challenged myself to make gluten-free sourdough using a method inspired by the Artisan Bread 5 Minutes a Day book. But here's the catch. I didn't use yeast and I only spent 5 minutes mixing the dough, then let it ferment in the fridge for 5 days, but I did not bake anything in between those days. On the 5th day, I took a piece of the dough, proofed it for the last time for about 2 hours, and I baked it and see if it really works. Making sourdough with wheat flour is fairly straightforward because of the gluten. It doesn't mean it doesn't have its challenges or learning curve, but gluten really helps with elasticity and structure. Now, will gluten-free bread? Well, that's a whole different ballgame. Without gluten, the dough doesn't have that same stretchy, smooth texture. And achieving that rise, it's a bit trickier, And that's why we use fibers in our bread. Will the long fermentation process make up for what gluten would normally do? This challenge is all about testing the limits of gluten-free sourdough. Can it rise, develop flavor, and bake into something delicious in just a 5-minute mix? Well, my friends, watch the video to see how it turns out and find out if 5 days of patience can really deliver a perfect loaf of gluten-free sourdough bread. To start off, I have to tell you this dough was a dream to work with. It was so soft. It was very different from the first day or the day that I mixed everything. It's almost like everything came together. I made 2 loaves. One was a 2-pounder, and I did a second one, which was a 1.10 ounce loaf. I shaped each loaf in the different shapes that I've shown you before, and I proofed them for about 2 hours in the counter. The temperature in my house was 70 degrees, so it depends how hot or cold your house is. That would depend. You have to be very aware of just looking at it and making sure that it's rising. And as soon as you see that it has double in size, that's the time that you just get it ready for bake. Score it as however you want. You can get fancy or keep it simple. I preheated my oven at 500 Fahrenheit degrees and wow. Honestly, not yet celebrating until I see that crumb. And this is the moment of truth. Look at that crumb. Was amazing. Now let's take a look at the second loaf, which was smaller, and I still gave it the same amount of proofing time, same temperature and everything, less baking time though. And there was a little bit of difference on the top where you see bigger holes, but overall, wow. Do you know what this means? It means that I just simplify my life and hopefully yours. Until next time.